Hey everybody, this is Chris with Shutter 16 Magazine, and we are here today with the band Regents.
Hello!
Hey everybody!
Hello. I have a microphone!
Well guys, why don't we get started by having you introduce yourselves and your role in the band.
My name is Trey Spears. I sing and play guitar in Regents.
Awesome.
And I'm Eli Helms. I'm the bassist.
Cool.
I am DJ Buchanan and I play drums.
Hi, I'm Colin Moser, and I play the guitar in this band and sing sometimes.
Awesome, awesome. So, let's start with how the four of you first met, and give us just a little brief rundown on that.
So, Eli, DJ, and I went to high school together, and we started out in the band class together for several years. I think Eli and DJ graduated. Are you two a year apart?
No, he was a year before me.
A year before.
Yeah.
So
He's born the same year, but he's a late birthday.
late birthday. I
Yeah,
got
to say.
You're slow. No,
So DJ and Eli graduated before I did. So I've always been the youngest one in any band. And we met Colin through house shows, through mutual friends and other bands. And I just always thought it would be a really cool idea if we could have a guitar player like Colin Mosier in this band. And now we do. So it's really awesome. I couldn't ask for better friends, and the music that we make it just makes us all happy. So.
Awesome. And now, on the latest edition of AXS TV, flashback to Regents. No, I'm just kidding. So, I know that you guys were in a band by a little bit different names, so kind of tell me what brought about the name change to Regents, and give us a little history there.
So, originally we were the Wallborns. We started in 2016 with a drummer from Hickory, North Carolina. His name was Nick Papazikos. We love you, Nick, if you're watching.
He better be.
Nick actually plays in a new group called the Donner Deads. You should check them out. They're really awesome. So, yes, it started with Eli, myself, and Nick, and we would get together once every, 3 months?
Yeah, we were all living in different places. I was in Asheville in college, and you were back in Salisbury. Nick was living in Hickory.
Mm-hmm.
So we would just meet up for a weekend whenever we could and write and jam, and we played at 1 or 2 shows. Maybe more.
Yeah. I think we did 2 shows at most with Nick.
Right.
Yeah. And so after, I'd say a year or 2 of just getting together every few months, DJ actually lived right around the corner from where I was living at the time, and we grew up. We were always hanging out, if we weren't in school, we were always hanging out doing something. He was my older friend that had a Jeep and could drive, and so...
Both important.
Right. So we just, we had a great time. We listened to the same music. I think we wore out the same Foo Fighters songs nonstop. And we just bonded over music, and one day I remember him getting his first, real drum set that he was just really excited to get. And he had it set up in his house, and it was just this is the drummer I've always wanted right here, and he's right in front of me. And
So he was like the drummer next door.
it's like the drummer next door, and eventually it got to the point where Eli and I really wanted to pursue this a lot more than we were, and we just decided it was best to move on with a different lineup. So we added DJ into the mix and instantly went into the studio and recorded a 5-song EP that's called My Answer. You could probably still find that on YouTube and Spotify under the Wallborns name. It did not transfer over to Regents. But so now we're Regents, and I'd like to let these guys kind of explain how the new name came about. Just to give you a little bit of a background on where the Wallborns came from. It was a math teacher that really only I had when we went to Carson. But I would always complain about just the homework and just, I don't know, her as a teacher was not that great. She's a great person, so Miss Walburn, if you're watching this, you were an awesome lady. I had a terrible time learning from you.
And now Regents is officially booked for the prom next year at that school?
Yes, we will be there.
God forbid.
No, we will not.
We will not be there.
Miss Walborn, that's how we came up with the Walborn. So it's kind of like the Leonard Skinner thing, and that's a big reason that we all felt it was necessary for a fresh start. Our songwriting has matured a lot, and we're all at a point now where we're recording our debut record, and we just feel like what better way to have a fresh start than with a brand new name that fits. We think it fits. It definitely fits our sound. So I'm gonna let this hand this off to DJ. You can cut all that nonsense out.
So basically, I think we were going to Raleigh. Was it Raleigh? Poorhouse? Is that Raleigh?
Yeah.
Watch our friends. The band's called Kyle and the Eccentrics. They're really good friends of ours. And me and Eli were like in the back of Trey's van on the way over there, and I was just like, band name generator, just see what we can come up with. Because Trey was like, I don't like this, or nobody would like the names we would come up with.
Shout out band generator.
Whichever, I don't remember which one. There's like a million of them out there. And Trey was like, almost something with moon in it. So I was like, all right. I just put moon, and it just gave me like all these random words and then moon. And one of them happened to be regent, and I was like, that's a pretty cool word. And I was like, Eli, what do you think of this? He was like, that's pretty cool. So I immediately started looking up other bands because I obviously don't want to copyright infringe on anybody and get sued. So Eli was like, well, that's the name. I was like, well, what about Region C? And that was like 8 different bands. So I was like, what about like Regents?
Just Regents. And
Yeah.
then like everybody in the van was just like, whoa, that sounded cool.
Yeah. So there's only one other band, but the problem is theirs has like, I forget what the name of it is. It's like a little pronunciation symbol above the letter.
Yeah.
I think it was like the first E in it, I think.
Mhm.
And
Last E.
Was it the last E?
E.
Regent.
Okay.
Regents say.
Yeah,
I forget where they're
Regents.
from. They're not from this country.
Yeah, they're definitely not from here.
Yeah.
And so we're like, okay. And but we had to let it marinate because Eli, like you said before, was kind of on the fence. Colin was just like, whatever.
I was a little biased. I guess it was a little early on for Colin, really.
Yeah. Plus, Colin, I think still feels like he is kind of like his opinions like almost don't matter. I don't know if I'm like speaking for you on that.
No,
but
not necessarily
More
like that, but
You do remain a little bit more on the neutral side of a lot of things.
And that's why we kind of have to like press you to make a decision on your opinion.
no, I think I with something like that, I'll take over.
Take over.
I think with something. What are we talking about? The band name right now? Yeah, Regents is really cool. I let you guys take the front on that just because, the band name was important to you. I think like speaking on the reasons why we did the name change in the first place. I actually got to meet Nick a few times and listen to him play the drums. So what's up, Nick? Those were some good times. But yeah, with DJ joining the group and then me joining after that, several. How long had you guys played?
2 years almost.
2 years, and now I've been in the group for about 1.5 years.
That's crazy.
Almost 2 years. Yeah.
Yeah, coming up on 2 years. Insane.
You're a pandemic member.
A pandemic member, and we're going to come out stronger than ever, so that's what's up. We have a bunch of music coming out. That's really cool.
Yes.
And it just feels like something new. The Wallburns was something that was from the past, I think.
Right.
And it's been in my journey with the like the Wallburns was always hard to feel like truly a part of. But with Regents, it's really cool because this is something that we've created together.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
And that was like really I kind of think with band names like. It's easy to get hung up on the meaning, It's great if there's, and there is meaning to what we choose, but at the same time, just the like very transition from Wallburns to Regents, people will latch on to the Regents name. So
Absolutely.
it'll come to mean a lot as we release music and book some tour dates and stuff. So
Absolutely.
yeah, I forget exactly what I had been asked here, but
Well, that's okay. That's okay.
Eli, do you have anything to add to the Regents?
No, we can probably move on.
Okay, moving right along then. So, Colin, you mentioned a lot of new music coming up. So let's talk about the first new single that's going to be coming out on June 17th, Where I'm Going. Let's kind of walk through the songwriting process a little bit and kind of how that song totally came together. Or has it?
Do you want me to give my joke answer or do you want to answer serious?
DJ, start this off.
So, before all this, we were told to answer questions through a Google Docs form, and I made the joke that Trey probably listened to all the Foo Fighters albums and then just wrote a song immediately right afterwards. And honestly, that's kind of how I feel. But I mean, I'll let Trey explain actually what it means.
It did,
Thanks,
it did
DJ.
kind of happen like that. It did kind of happen like that, but it's not like I just decided, all right, I'm going to listen to all the Foo Fighters records and then write a song. It's more like I've been wearing these Foo Fighters records out since I was 14, and I knew the first time that I saw Foo Fighters live at Wembley Stadium, that's what I'm going to do with my life, right there. And writing Where I'm Going, I remember writing that song after the first time we played at the Evening Muse back in August of last year. I got home. It was really, really late that night. It was probably 3:30, 4 o'clock in the morning. I think Colin had just left my house. And I had this riff in the back of my head, and I threw the first verse on it that night, and it felt really good. And I had the song completely put together and written the next day. And I just held on to the voice memo recording for probably about 3 weeks because I didn't really know if it was something I was going to want to hold on to before, for a while before bringing it to the guys in a rehearsal or something. I eventually just showed DJ one day, and I'm like, man, listen, this is a really good song, and I don't really know. I don't want to ruin it by jumping into it and rushing it too fast, but the whole process was super.
It was pretty quick.
It was super quick because we all felt the energy and the vibe of the song, and so just putting the song together didn't take very long. We knew exactly what we were trying to achieve, and I think that we did just that.
Well, the song itself is pretty straightforward. As there's nothing too complex about it, so that also kind of helps with it coming along fairly easy.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, with the talent in the room, it makes complete sense.
I would say more than just Foo Fighters, you're going to hear a lot of Foo Fighters influence. That's inevitable. It's just buried into my soul. But, we have a lot of mutual influences in this band. I think Incubus is a big one that we can all agree on. I think Porcupine Tree, everybody in this band really, really loves them. Royal Blood, Queens of the Stone Age, Highly Suspect, just Cleopatra, a couple of the newer bands. We're into all sorts of different music. I think all of us would listen to different music in our daily lives when we're going to work in our cars or, something like that. I would let those guys answer, on that note. And I'm kind of like Colin at this point. I've kind of forgotten what the question was. I know we're on where I'm
Train
going.
has derailed.
And I would really love some Eli input on the Where I'm Going
Themes.
front as well.
On
Where I'm Going.
the songwriting
Yes,
process?
yes.
So I didn't really have much input in the songwriting process on this one. I don't know. It feels like every song we come out with is a little different on the process side. Some of them we've spent years kind of crafting, and then we'll take a break and come back to it months later. This one, like you said, it came along pretty quickly. You brought it in one day, and it was straightforward and just hard hitting, and we were all like, we know what to do with this.
All right.
Yeah. And a lot of the beauty of the song, in my opinion, comes from that simplicity. We're not trying to compose something crazy here. It's kind of just where it's supposed to be. It sits right where it's supposed to be with our sound. It's, I don't know, which is part of the reason why we decided to make it the first release, as Regents. Kind of set the stage for what's coming next. This is kind of
For where we're going.
the sound.
For where we're going.
Precisely. Well said.
Okay, so what is going to be coming next? Are we going to have some more singles coming down the road? A full album in the works? Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, yes.
Yes to all of the above.
Yes, we will be doing those things. We're going to have potentially 4 more singles coming on after Where I'm Going.
6 weeks apart. At least.
6 weeks apart. So be ready for a lot of new Regents content this year.
That's good.
We're really excited about it. We've been writing and recording these songs since the pandemic, and a lot of them even before that. These have been in our back pocket since the Walborns days, and we're ready to put it out. Kind of, it's feeling very, nearly polished at this point.
Yeah.
It's really good music.
It is good, yes. We're biased, but we think it's pretty good.
Okay, so everybody will get a chance to judge for themselves on June 17th, and I hope that everybody feels the same way.
Oh, yeah.
I'd like to add one more note. Getting to work with Mark Williams and Dave Harris has been a huge part of this process, and I think that, at least for me, I work for a vintage music store in China Grove, North Carolina called Coleman Music. Shout out Coleman Music. And Chip Coleman's been longtime friends with Mark Williams through the years, and finally got the pleasure of meeting him, and just to have somebody of his experience with fresh ears mix this album, I think is one of the most refreshing feelings that I've had since I've started playing music. It's just a really great experience to be able to go into a mastering studio and have somebody like Mark Williams, who has worked for years with Dave Harris. They just speak a totally different language when they're in there in the studio, and it just goes right over my head. It's such a refreshing feeling, and so I just want to shout out those guys and give a big thank you, because it's a huge honor to be working with both Mark Williams and Dave Harris.
Awesome. What about live shows? Are you guys having any kind of release shows or dates planned for the summertime yet?
So the big goal, at least for this year, is get the record done, focus on the music, get some singles out there, and the rebranding thing has kind of been what's kept us from full swing booking shows. We just played our last two shows as the Wallborns back in May. We played one in Greensboro and one in Asheville. And the one in Asheville, we actually put the Wallborns' name to rest. That was actually my 23rd birthday. It was pretty cool. It was a great show. We had a great time. Anytime we go to Asheville, it's a wonderful time. We have a blast. So we're trying to finish the record, release these singles first, and then we'll announce the album. And we're hoping that this time next year we will be touring this record.
Fantastic.
So that's the plan.
Great plan. So I'd like to do just a little quick short answer type thing with you guys.
Okay.
If you could each take a shot at the next few questions. We'll start with, what is your first memory involving music?
Wow.
Can you go back that far?
Wow.
It's a great question.
First memory involving music. I don't know. For me, it probably would have something to do with my uncle. Yeah, he was always in the music industry. He was in like a punk band in the 90s, toured up and down the East Coast.
Nice.
And yet, yeah, rest in peace. He passed away a little over a year ago. But he was the guy that really got me into rock music, and he bought me my first bass and bass amp. I don't know, especially for you and me, he pretty much like gave us the equipment to
Unfortunately, never
start
got
playing.
to meet him.
Did you never meet Joe?
Never got to meet Joe.
Wow.
But he did. He was always a big part, and
Yeah.
I'd always hear the best things about Joe,
Yeah.
and I never
Well,
got
he
to
was
meet him.
he was the gear
He was.
person, kind of who you have become since working in Coleman Music. But yeah, he would always bring over new speakers, new mics, and things for us to use, and
Yeah.
I don't know. I was really little when when he started getting me into music, so I can't really remember anything specific. But
Well, that's an awesome memory, though. That's
Yeah.
an awesome memory, and I'm sure that he would be looking down on you and just overjoyed with what you're going to be doing.
And I would add that without Joe, we wouldn't be where we are today, because he supplied a lot of that music gear that helped us move forward.
oh yeah,
All those years we were practicing at his dad's house. That was it was good times. Good times.
Yes. Shout out to Joe.
Shout out to Joe.
Trey, what about your first musical memory?
Oh goodness, that is a great question. My first musical journey, I was given a drum set at age 3, but guitar always came more natural to me. I got that when I was 7. I took lessons when I was about 7.5 for 2 months. That was just enough to learn like basic string order and stuff like that. But I was a shithead in school, and my grades dropped, so my dad pulled me out of guitar lessons. And, little 7.5-year-old me was like, okay, that's fine, I'll just teach myself Metallica riffs. And so I am pretty much self-taught since the age of 8. Just my love and desire, really my parents' love and desire and passion for music through the years. My mom, she's a singer. My dad would always, he was the roadie back in the day. He was always around bands and helping them load up, and he was just always on the road with bands when he was my age. So my family, both sides, definitely come from, they have a background in music, and that definitely fueled my passion and desire to become a musician.
Awesome. What about you, DJ?
Well, like Trey's mom, my mom was also a singer. She played violin, mandolin.
She comes in on Broadway.
Yeah, I think that's the story she told. It's been a long time, but yeah, apparently she got offers to be on Broadway and she turned them down. But I think my first memory of actually playing an instrument, period, was probably 5th grade. We had to play the dreaded Hot Cross Buns on recorder. No, and then like 6th grade, I started out in low brass, and then, but you know, me being partially asthmatic, I guess, that doesn't mix too well.
I didn't know that. I just
I
learned
didn't
something
know
new about
that.
DJ today.
Yeah, so yeah, I played low brass for like 3 months, if that, and then I was like, I'm gonna try out for drumline. So I had like this science textbook, and I got my parents bought me some sticks, and I just started beating the crap out of it, just learning basic rudiments to make the middle school drumline. Shout out to Mr. Kirk.
Yes.
China Grove Middle. So started with that.
Mr. Kirk.
Yeah, so I made drumline that year, and I didn't even start playing drum sets till I was about 14 or 15 maybe.
Okay.
And then after that, it just kind of just took off from there. I'm drum set. I'm self-taught, but I took everything I learned from concert and marching band and just kind of applied it and learned, limb independence and whatnot on that.
Absolutely. What about you, Colin?
Trey, when you were 3 years old and you got a drum set, was it like a full-size drum set? Or
Absolutely not.
Okay. Okay.
Actually, you know what? Yes, actually it was. It was just a little. It was a full size. It was a 3-piece. So like, it was.
Yeah, I see.
I think it was a 3-piece. I could be wrong. Is that relevant?
It
Why?
wasn't a DJ.
I was just that was
Yeah, it
that was a
wasn't
really
me.
early age. I was thinking like my first musical memory would probably be my
Out
mom.
of the womb. Like,
Yeah.
he came out of the womb
I-
singing.
Let me out.
No, I have just memories of being sung to by my mom. She's not a singer by profession or by history publicly, but she has a beautiful voice, and she would sing Shady Grove in particular. That's just like an old like Appalachian folk tune, and it's just so beautiful. And then either that or listening to ELO, Electrolyte Orchestra, with my dad, because he would always play like Mr. Blue Sky. That song is so far back in my memories. So
That's awesome, man.
Awesome.
either one of those two.
Awesome. So you hold the mic. We'll go this way this time. And tell me the first band you really got into.
The first band I really got into, Tool.
Okay?
Yeah, I was like, okay.
DJ?
Mine would probably be Led Zeppelin.
Awesome. Trey?
Metallica.
Okay.
Yep. Definitely the Beatles.
Awesome. Okay, cool. What about the first concert you ever attended?
Oh man.
It was probably Jack Johnson in like early 2000s.
Okay.
As the kid.
Trey?
I've waited my whole life to answer this question. Ozfest 2005, the original lineup of Black Sabbath. I was there. It was amazing. The only thing I remember was Ozzy mooning the crowd.
Probably Royal Blood when we went in 2015.
That was a badass show.
Yeah,
man.
it's like, because, too poor to go to any other shows.
Shinedown, 2015.
Okay. And what about if you could play at any venue anywhere in the world, which one would you pick?
Red Rocks looks really cool.
Hell
It looks
yeah.
like it has awesome reverb. I just really want to play there.
Nice.
I probably want to play at Wembley.
Wembley.
The Milestone Club.
Shout out the Milestone.
Absolutely, absolutely. Now, if you could pick any band in the world to tour with, who would it be?
Eli, let's go to Eli, yeah.
Any band in the world to tour with?
Yep.
Huh. I gotta say Foo Fighters.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
I think it is.
I can't say that, so I'm just gonna go Queens of the Stone Age.
Okay.
That would be
Oh,
just
that's a
such a
good one.
kick-ass band to tour with.
Oh, no. This is... You said you already took 2 of my answers. I have to go with Incubus then.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
man.
man. I'm gonna say Loathe. Loathe is
Yeah.
super cool. Check out Loathe.
Yeah.
Shout out Loathe.
Check out Lowe's.
Keep it. You
Oh, yeah.
start the next round.
I do keep it.
Okay, Colin, we'll start with you for the last question. Tell me quickly your dream instrument. What would it be?
Oh, I don't know. There's so many beautiful instruments out there, and I love all of them equally. But I don't know. I really need a Les Paul right now.
But you play guitar? No, instrument.
Yeah, anything. Yeah, any instrument. That's
You play
fine.
guitar. You already play guitar. If you could play any other instrument,
Oh,
is that
see,
the question?
No, I
No,
thought
she
it was
means
more...
No,
any
Any dream instrument. That's a fine answer.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So we're gonna have now. Look what you're making me do. Extra work to edit you out. No, I'm just kidding. That's fine.
dare you.
I thought it was like an extra instrument
know-
that you don't already play. I took that wrong.
Yeah, so like I don't really have a dream instrument, but I think it'd be really cool to own like one of those like 1600s like violins.
Oh yeah.
That are just like super hard to get your hands on without them being like completely destroyed.
Sure.
It'd be pretty cool to have.
Stradivarius.
That would be.
Yeah.
For me, my dream guitar would definitely, oh god, it would be probably a Firebird one. They're very hard to come by. It's a Gibson Firebird one. I love those. I don't care what year it is. I just want a Firebird one.
And Eli, what about you?
Do you guys know those little jaw harp things?
Yes,
Like,
come get one, dude. I have like so many. I'll give you for free at the store.
All right, so
Yeah.
latest in the Regents.
Oh my god.
Eli's learning jaw harp.
Awesome.
And if you want one, come get one at Coleman Music.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you guys for taking the time to chat with us here at Shutter 16 and fill us in on everything that's going on with Regents. We look forward to a lot more.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.